center. You're interested in joining a fitness center, which I don't think a lot of people are joining fitness centers right now. I don't think they're open right now. I don't think gyms are allowed to be open right now for the next couple of weeks till January 4th, I guess. But Fitness R Us charges a one-time membership fee of $100. So that means that when you go to join, they say, well, in order to join, you have to pay a down payment or you have to pay a fee of $100. And then on top of that is a monthly charge of $30. So upfront cost of $100, every month $30. Club Fitness charges a one-time membership fee of $60. So again, you go to join and it's $60 and then a monthly charge of $35. So just like we've been doing, we're still going to define our variables and we're still going to write in a system of equations. This problem though is a little different when we define our variables. So we still would have an x and we still are going to have a y. The x in this problem is the part that would be changing. And in this case, we have a monthly charge. And so the cost of my membership depends on how many months that I go. But every month I have to pay a new charge or a new fee. So x is going to represent the number of months. So if I go 5 months, if I go 10 months, if I go 20 months, it's going to cost me more the longer I'm there because every month I have to pay a fee. The y is going to be my total cost. So how much does it cost me to join Fitness R Us, or how much does it cost me to join Club Fitness? So x is the number of months because that's the part that's changing. The total cost depends on those number of months. The second part says write a system of equations to model the above situation. Well, this system of equations is slightly different because we have two companies that we are going to be comparing. One company is called Fitness R Us and the other company is called Club Fitness. When we write our equations, we're going to write one equation for Fitness R Us. And then we're going to write a second equation for Club Fitness. So each company gets its own equation. So let's see if we can try and write the equation for Fitness R Us. So it says that there is a one-time membership of $100 and then a monthly charge of $30. So we have to decide what to do with the monthly charge and what to do with the 100 one-time fee. Michael, do you know how we could try and take those two pieces and write that into an equation in y equals form?
Would it be y equals 30x plus 100?
Yeah, awesome. So $30 every month is why it's 30x plus the 100. It's just that $100 fee that we're going to play. All right, so the second one, we're going to look at the same information. We have a membership fee of $60 and a monthly charge of $35. Bill, do you think you can write an equation in y equals form for Club Fitness using that information?
Y equals 30x plus 60.
Yep, and it's 35, but you got it. I knew what you meant. So 35x and then plus 60. So again, x represents the number of months in each one of these. So those would be our two equations, a little different from the ones before. All right, so here's where the problems are different. This question says, how many months would the cost of a fitness center membership be the same? So how many months would the cost be the same for both companies? So we want to figure out, when are they equal? If I go to both companies, at what point would my costs be equal to each other, exactly the same? Does anybody know how we would do that with the two equations? how could I figure out when the cost is equal using the two equations? Or when the cost is the same? We're actually going to take both equations. We're going to take the equation part and we're going to set them equal to each other. And I can do this because right now they're both set equal to y. So they're set equal to the same variable. So I can take those equations and set them equal to each other because our goal is to figure out when are they equal? When are they the same? So the one equation is 30x plus 100. We want to figure out when is it equal to the second company, which is 35x plus 60. So totally different than the other problems that we've done. And this says use substitution, and this really is substitution because I'm taking one equation and substituting it in for y in the second equation. So now we have to solve. Haley, what do you think one thing here we could do to solve this equation for x? So try and think, we want to get those x's together on the same side. What do you think we could do, Haley?
Subtract 30x to both sides.
Yeah, let's get those x's together. So let's take the 30x to the other side. So those x's cancel. 35 minus 30 is 5. Haley, what else would we do to try and get x by itself?
Minus 60.
Perfect. So 60 minus 60 cancels. This leaves us with 40. And then Haley, the last step?
Divide everything by 5.
Awesome. What is 40 divided by 5, Haley?
8.
Nice. So that's x. Now I have x by setting them equal to each other. If I go back up to see what that represents, x is the number of months. And that's what the question is asking for. How many months would the cost be the same? Well, the cost is going to be the same at 8 months. So I could go to either one of these fitness clubs. And if I stay for 8 months, it doesn't matter which one I choose. They're both going to be exactly the same. But there's a second part to this question, and it says, what is that equal cost? So just like every other problem, when you find x, we need to plug x in to also find y. And that's what we're going to do so that we can also figure out the cost. And you can use either equation because it's the same amount for either equation. So I'll just use the first equation because I like the numbers 30 and 100, a little easier to work with. So we're going to plug in 8 for x. And then we'll multiply. So 30 times 8 is 240. And then when I add 100 onto that, because that was my initial fee, I get 340. So again, this is the same type of problem. It's just we had to make our own equations, but I still have to find x and y. So at 8 months, I didn't pluralize that there. My cost for both is 340 bucks. I don't know about you, but I feel like $340 to go to the gym is a lot of money. Mr. King, am I wrong? Does that seem like a lot of money?
Oh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Are there
$10 a month Planet Fitness.
Yeah, that seems like a much better choice. These must be
Oh, yeah.
fancy pants places. And I think Club Julian's a little pricey. It's like a fancier place. I don't know. What's LA Fitness? Does anybody know what LA Fitness is?
There's a lot of places that like one class costs $35 per class.
Oh my
People
gosh.
go a couple times a week.
Holy
Yeah.
cow. I got a neighborhood that I can walk and jog and ride my bike in. I'm good with that. Does anyone have questions on that first problem? All right, so the second part of the problem here. Which company charges a lower fee? For 15 months. So now you say, hey, I have a vacation in 15 months and I want to make sure that I go work out so that I'm good for that vacation. Which place should I go to for 15 months? Which one is going to be cheaper? So this is a comparison problem where we're going to try and compare. So I have Fitness RS. And then we have Club Fitness. And we're going to do a little bit of comparing here. Which one is better? So we'll make a little chart. Michael, what do you think we're going to plug 15 months in for in the equation?
You can plug it in for the X.
Yeah, so 15 months is the X value. So in both equations, we're comparing. We're going to plug 15 in for X. So Club Fitness says 30 times X plus 100. And then, I'm sorry, Fitness RS. Club Fitness is 35 times X, which is still 15, and then plus 60. So the goal here is to figure out which one is my better option to choose, which has the lower fee. So use your calculator, do a little bit of multiplying. Michael, do you have a calculator handy?
Yeah.
What is 30 times 15, Michael?
450.
And when you add 100 to that, you get?
550.
Yeah. And then how about the other one?
You get 525, and then plus 60 would be 585.
Nice job. So these are amounts of money. Make sure you label it with money. And then answer the question, which company charges a lower fee for 15 months? Well, pretty obvious. I mean, 35 bucks, it's still a cheaper fee. And that would be Fitness R Us. So make sure you star it, you box it, do something to show that that's the company that has the cheaper fee, the lower fee. So we would want to go to Fitness R Us for saving ourselves 35 bucks. It's still something at least. The last part of this question wants us to again compare. It says which company would have more months of membership for $300? So now you know you have $300 to spend. Which company would we get the most out of it? How long could I go? So we're going to compare this again using those same equations, except now the Y value is 300. So the previous question we knew X and we found Y. Now in this question, we know what Y is. We want to figure out X. How long could I go to each company? So we have that Fitness RS. And that equation for Fitness RS is at the top of your page, 300x plus 100. Oops. Or 30x plus 100. Apparently I cannot talk correctly today. So 300 is equal to 30x plus 100. And again, we're solving. So this is some good work of like everything we've done so far in the year. Bill, how would you solve this equation?
Subtract 100 from each side, then divide it by 30.
Awesome. What is 200 divided by 30, Bill? Approximately.
6.6.
Okay. So he said 6.6. I bet that 6 is repeating too. And that's months. So the other club that we have is Club Fitness. And we are going to do exactly the same thing. So we're taking that 300 and we're setting it equal to its equation, which is 35x plus 60. So we can solve this exactly like Bill solved the other one. Subtract 60. That gives us 240. And then we would divide both sides by 35. And I have 6 looks like 9, 6.85, 6.9. So the question wanted us to kind of decide which company would give us more months of membership. Well, they're almost exactly the same. You could say, though, that Club Fitness is slightly higher, but they're pretty much exactly the same. I would go about 6 months at either one of those. But 6.9 is a little bit higher than 6.6 repeating. So I guess we would say Club Fitness might be a slightly better option. Does anybody have questions? So this is called a comparison problem where you're comparing two companies, trying to figure out which one would be better. What do I get the most bang for my buck? I'm going to start, or maybe I'll let Mr. King start the next problem with you so that you
Sounds
can
good.
at least write the variables and write the system, and then you can do the rest on your own. This is posted to Google Class, or no, it's right in your packet. So it's the next
No,
page.
it's right in the note packet.
Yep,
Yeah.
right in the packet, the next page in the packet. So if you have that packet, you're just using the next page in your packet. If you don't have the packet, it's on Google Classroom. So you're gonna have to find the packet on Google Classroom because this is on page 10 of the packet in Google Classroom.
Okay. It says 2 car rental agencies have the following rate structures for a subcompact car. Urant charges $50 per day plus 15 cents per mile, and Paynes charges $45 per day plus 20 cents per mile. You're only renting the car one day. So we want to define our variables. Haley, what do you think our variables are going to be in this? It's very similar to the last one.
Would it be miles and days?
So miles is absolutely right, because we're going to have how many miles you drive determines how what. So if I drive 50 miles, that means how much money I have to spend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the price. So we have X is going to be our miles. And then our Y is going to be the cost. So now we're going to do our 2 equations. Our first one we're going to look at is Urant equation, and then we're also going to have our Paynes. So for Urant, when we're looking here, we're going to start off Y, our cost, is going to equal what? Michael, what would our cost be for Urant? Our equation.
It'd be Y equals 50x plus 0.15.
Yeah, good. So your 0.15, that's your 15 cents per mile, plus your daily cost of $50. And then Paynes is very similar. Chase, what's our equation going to be for Paynes? Bill?
It'd be 0.2 plus 45, 0.2x.
Yeah, point 0.2 or 0.20 plus the $45 that started the charge for the daily rental. And that's it. Everything else is very much identical to the problem Miss Kane just did with you. So any questions on setting it up or what we're doing next? Next, you're going to set them equal to each other for part C. You're going to plug in 75 for your X value. And lastly, you're going to plug in 125 for your Y value. That's it.
So that's the only problem you have for homework, and we are done.